Welcome back to the Life and Stride podcast. This is episode 223. Merry Christmas Eve. On this episode, we had Kellen Runs Philly on the pod, Kellen Matthews-Thompson. Kellen has an amazing story going from addiction and homelessness to now being sober. He's a dad, he is a husband, and he is a 2:36 marathoner. Kellen shares his story online, hoping to inspire others. This was a really special episode. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please leave a review, drop a comment, share with a friend. I will put Kellen's info in the show notes. If you don't follow him, please give him a follow. It's a great follow. He has an amazing message and story. But yeah, we'll catch you on episode 224. Merry Christmas. When we're running through Norton Commons or the Pewee Valley area in Louisville, Kentucky, it's pretty easy to spot Mason Construction Home. The attention to detail, the quality, the stunning design, you can't miss it. It stands out. We aren't just saying that either. Our own co-host Scotty trusted Mason Construction to build his forever home, and he and his family couldn't be happier. Don't tell Scotty this, but we're at his house a lot because we love the home. He's all right too, though. If you live in the Louisville or Southern Indiana area and are thinking about building your forever home or doing a remodel, there is nobody else to trust with this project than Mason Construction. The link to their website is in our show notes. Click on the request information option and start the conversation about what your forever home could look like.
Good kickoff question, unless you want to kick it off, Scotty.
No, dude, send it.
What's the most useful thing that running has taught you?
Wow, Danny, you're just really going right after it. Love it.
Jugular, right? I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is just like the piece of daily discipline. So I was introduced to running in 2017. I went to a treatment facility down in Houston, Texas, and the lead physician of the treatment facility, I was there for substance use issues. He sat us down for like a lecture, like a 45-minute class. They basically do to like kill time during the day while you're there as you're like recovering and getting better. The topic of this lecture was running and the effects it has on the brain. And when he wrote like endorphins, opioids, morphine, running all together on the whiteboard, something just like clicked in my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to run tomorrow morning. At the time, extremely unhealthy, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, like really just trying to get better mentally, physically, spiritually. Next morning, I went out, ran a mile, extremely difficult, but I had remembered what Dr. Bender had said, and as basically when you put your body in uncomfortable situations or you face adversity, your brain rewards you, later on. So I relied on that, and I ended up running a mile like every day for the first year that I was in recovery.
Cool. How long were you in recovery?
Oh, so I'm going on 9 years here, February 2nd. So I've been clean from opioids and, everything else for almost 9 years now.
Yeah, it seems like a big part of your story. I saw a post you posted a couple weeks ago. Maybe there was a billboard. Is it in Philly?
That's all over Pennsylvania? Yeah, the state of Pennsylvania reached out and was like, "Hey, we'd like to hire you to be the face of our Get Help Now campaign here in Pennsylvania." And yeah, crazy experience, honestly.
Yeah, what a full circle moment, man. Like 9 years. Like, could you have ever imagined like 10 years ago? Like, this is where you'd be. You'd be the face of it.
I'm curious if like people from your past have seen that and like reached out or anything.
I'm sure they have. I mean, I get a ton of people that reach out and send DMs and just let me know like, hey, we seen it and it's amazing. We love to see you doing well. And I do get people from both sides, right? Like people that were solely just affected by my disease and people who were like enablers or family members, whatever, were just kind of there to experience it. And then other people that I was like using with and was like the company that I was keeping and running around with. I've had those people, a culmination of all of them reach out and be like, yo, I'm so proud of you to see how far you've come. And not only to be the face of a campaign like this, which is alone a massive accomplishment and like super proud of it, but like I'm also healthy now too, right? And like the fitness piece to my story is just like an added bonus. And it's like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, yeah, how many people do you know that are running in the 230s? Not many. And then like to add to that, how many people do you know that were, addicted, like heavily addicted to a substance? They were able to spin their life around and then like put as much focus into running or into anything for that matter and, turn it into what I have, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, have you heard of, do you know who a guy named Caleb McCoy?
I do.
Yeah, he's a good friend of ours. He's been on the pod a bunch, but yeah, he's got a crazy story, man. It was like one of our like most jaw-dropping stories for sure that we've had on the podcast. But he's got a similar story. We talked about with him a while ago, like the addiction cycle that he went through when he transitioned like all of that focus and energy towards fitness. He was just like, dude, I could do anything. Like I could do anything. The stuff I put my body through before and now it's just like running is just healing for me. It felt like for him.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And it's just like I often talk to my wife about this frequently where it's like I need to let her know because sometimes it's like, okay, you're taking this running thing pretty serious. Like you're pouring a lot of time and effort as a girl dad, husband, content creator. Like, a lot of time and energy is going into my fitness. And it's like, I have to remind her every once in a while, like, if I don't pour this energy into something positive, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to go somewhere else. And it might be somewhere else positive. But for right now, like, running is doing the trick. It's healing and it's propelling me forward, today. So I'm happy with it.
There's the old adage or myth that like marathon runners they're just addicts. Like they're just addicts in their own way. They're doing something crazy and it's unhealthy for their heart. And it like, is that true? Like as someone who has been through it and gone through recovery, like I feel like it's just not true. I feel like there is such a difference and the calling the marathoner an addict almost like diminishes the severity or seriousness of a situation like yours. But you tell me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I think there's some correlations.
Yeah.
You can definitely draw some similarities there, but at the end of the day, like I don't think it's the same thing. I did see though, forget where I was listening to it at, but there was some similarities drawn between people who have dealt with trauma and have been through some sort of traumatic experience and like them kind of leaning towards endurance sports because for some reason the endurance training kind of triggers the same response that EMDR, like trauma therapy, triggers. And it's like a similar type of therapy. And I thought that was interesting, just as like someone who's obviously experienced everything that I have and like the benefits I get from just like being fully indulged in like a hard training effort or like a hard training block. Like it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's fulfilling. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like as a kid, I often felt like something was missing or I was like, something was just misfiring. I felt off, felt like I didn't belong or like there was just like some uneasy feeling that was kind of there. And like when I'm training, it feels like it's like filling that void, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy is a structured psychotherapy that helps people heal from trauma and distressing experiences by processing difficult memories using bilateral stimulation like eye movements or tapping to reduce their emotional impact and reframe negative beliefs, proving effective for PTSD, anxiety, depression, other conditions. I have never heard of that, but that sounds interesting.
Danny, I really appreciate that you looked that up because I was just going to like shake my head and assume that I was like, yeah, man, I know what you're talking about.
So running, you're saying running has, and dude, I'm ready to get bro sciencey because like I'm not a scientist, but I can pontificate. Okay. I'm good at that. What, like you're saying that EMDR and running can have like similar outcomes.
Therapeutic value.
Therapeutic value.
It's like okay. Almost like I forget where I seen it or read it at. Basically, it was saying that like there's this therapist was seeing that there is a correlation between people who find success in EMDR and people who kind of lean towards that endurance sport
Okay.
lifestyle as well.
So like
There's
high responders to EMDR would be
Yeah.
high responding to running. Okay.
There's a theme we talk about as well a lot on the podcast that, like, as adults, I'm not sure how old you are, Kellen. Danny and I are both young 30s, but
33.
yeah, we're right there, right? So as an adult, there's not much that we can pour ourselves into and then have like a crescendo at the end of like a race, right? Like it's kind of hard. Like there's like soccer leagues, right? And there's baseball leagues kinda, but not really, right? There's not much that you can do as an adult. Like, you know, a fantasy football league is not the same, right? You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did it go away? Sorry, I don't know what
the
this
audio
is
just like slightly cut out, but
okay.
oh, you're back. Anyways, just as an adult, like running is something that you can just pour like every single day into, and then twice a week, like get to max heart rate or close to it. And then you meet all these people through it. You're pushing yourself, and then you have a race at the end that you get to prove your fitness. Like there's really not much, unless I'm missing something as an adult, that you can do. So I'm not sure if there is really a better way to have an outlet for your energy as a 30-year-old than running.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. I mean, running and, you know, I would say the endurance community in general, whether it's, you know, triathlon, swimming, biking, running, whatever it is, I feel like those things are a great place to put your energy, and especially if you like are someone, I don't know about you guys, but like I played sports growing up, and like I just have like a competitive side to me, and I oftentimes just have an itch. Like I was in the gym for a while, you know, and that was fulfilling, but there came a point where I was like, I need to use this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I need to chase something and like,
Or like compete.
yeah, compete, exactly, prove myself. You know, that I think that's really what it comes down to, and it's almost like it's like a chosen battle, or like, you know, that's often how I am thinking of it. It's like I need something to like fight against, whether it's like man versus nature, man versus man, whatever it is. Like if it's a race, you know, in the marathon, you're not necessarily racing other people most of the time, unless you're extremely elite, you know. So it's like you versus the race, and there's just something about that just like, I don't know. It's allowed me to flip my perspective completely from being like in my 20s and kind of just like completely lost with nowhere to put my energy and just kind of like nowhere to fit in, essentially. And it caused me to self-soothe, you know, use drugs, alcohol, whatever it was. And once I was able to kind of get a little bit of time away from that and find fitness and find, you know, competitive endurance sports, you know, I live a completely different lifestyle now. At this point, it's like I couldn't imagine not living the life that I'm living.
Yeah. I don't. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna go on a tangent. You go ahead, Scotty.
Well, I lost my train of thought, Danny. Go for it.
All right. How did you get to Dr. Bender's lecture in Houston where he was talking about the benefits of running? What got you to that moment?
Yeah, so it was a kind of a perfect storm of things. I had previously tried to get clean like 8 times before, had gone to 8 different treatment facilities. The first few I went to, it was kind of like my family did like an intervention. It was like, yo, you need help. But at that time when they brought that to me, like I just wasn't ready. Like in the back of my head, like I was just still ready to go. I hadn't gotten enough yet. And I hadn't fallen far enough down the rabbit hole. So to make a long story pretty short, in 2016, I had met my wife at a music festival. I was on a maintenance program, Suboxone maintenance, which is basically like a prescribed damage control substance. Like it's basically an opioid that blocks your receptors. So it like helps with anxiety, helps with cravings, but it also prevents you from using other illicit substances.
Is like methadone an example of one of those?
Similar to that. Yeah. Suboxone and methadone are hand in hand. So at the time I was able to kind of like, we'll say like act normal essentially, because like my cravings are taken care of. I'm just going to the doctor. They're prescribing me this medication. And I met my wife. I'm able to put on this front, like everything's good. And about 6 months down the road, I had been making some trips back and forth between Philly and Baltimore to visit Cass. And like during this time, I stopped using the Suboxone and I'm relapsing, going back to using like street drugs. And one bad weekend, I'm in Baltimore. I basically spend my whole paycheck, go missing in action. Cass is calling me 100 times, like, yo, where are you at? I'm in a motel. She comes and finds me. Basically, like, we get into a huge fight. I'm like, I'm going to go back to Philly with the plan of, on my way back to Philly, I'm going to stop on 95. There's a bridge that crosses Susquehanna. I was going to park my truck. I was going to jump off. Just because at the time I was like being evicted out of my apartment, basically my entire life was coming crashing down, and I didn't have it in me to come clean to like my family again, tell Cass. Like, it was just like the shame and guilt that comes with the addiction is just like, I don't know, it's extremely preventative from getting you to ask for help. Right. Like, with the disease of addiction, it's like something you can't do on your own, because like your own mind has your number, 10 out of 10 times. It knows what you're thinking. It knows your plan, and it knows how to, deceive you. So, Cass had called me like literally 15 minutes out from the bridge. Is like, yo, I just want to check on you. Is everything okay? Like, you've been acting really weird. Like, I don't know if you're seeing other girls or what's going on, but like, I'm here for you. I just want to talk. And I was like, no, everything's good. I'm going back to Philly. Hang up the phone. 5 minutes later, she calls me back again. Yeah, I'm just checking on you. Like, seriously, if I can help at all, just let me know. And like that second phone call, I just like, kind of opened up. We got everything figured out. I didn't have insurance at the time, so I had to like do all of this like running around to figure out health insurance. But I ended up getting on the phone with the Watershed. That's the treatment facility I went to down in Texas, and pretty much hit the ground running when I got there, and I was really beaten down the last time that I was out using. Like, it wasn't the same. I was at like the most extreme I had ever been. Like, the amount that I was using was extremely dangerous. I didn't have much time left, to continue the habits and behaviors that I was, using. And so I got down to Texas, talked to Dr. Bender, and he kind of opened my eyes to the entire world of endurance sports. Not really, but he kind of planted the seed there. And
Are you a runner? Do you need running shoes, gear, apparel, more? If so, I got the scoop for you. Kencom's Running Store is the best place to buy any running supplies you need. Located in the St. Matthews area of Louisville, Kentucky, the friendly staff will take excellent care of you. If you are a newer runner and need help finding the right shoes, or you're looking to get plugged into the Louisville running community, this is where you need to start. If you don't live in Louisville, check out werunlou.com. We have a discount code and the link to the website in the show notes, and the shipping is free for purchases over $100. I promise you, Matt and team are the friendliest people you can meet. Don't hesitate. Get your running supplies at Kencom's Running Store and support an amazing local business.
I can tell it's still so real for you as you tell the story, you know, like I could see it in the way you're communicating it. It's just, man, it's heavy stuff. So I appreciate you sharing that. And, yeah, I think a lot of people will be able to, I don't know, relate or know somebody who's struggling. And just, I think when we, you know, we've had Caleb on, and, you know, we have you on now, and I think that people kind of get a window into, like the depth and severity behind addiction.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to get this perspective, not only because like there's such a stigma around it, you know, and it's like, I feel like a lot of people still truly believe that it's like a moral deficiency, you know what I mean? Or it's like a willpower thing, or like, it's your choice. Like you started using, but like, I know a lot of kids that I grew up with that kind of were in a similar environment. We used some of the same drugs at the same time, you know, but their previous experiences didn't set them up to become, you know, dependent or like, you know, affected by substance use. You know, like I partied with a lot of people in high school that partied similar to me, like 11th, 12th grade. At some point they were like, okay, this isn't serving me anymore. You know, they found whatever it was, you know, to go to college and get their lives together. Whereas like, I took an opposite turn. And like after going to therapy and talking to some therapists, and, you know, they basically have said like, due to, you know, the way that you grew up, things that you experienced, like that just qualified you to, you know, be the perfect contender for substance use. And like you just at a young age, you taught yourself to self-soothe through other means. And then when it came time and you know, were introduced to alcohol or marijuana or, you know, opioids, it was just like something clicked and it was like, okay, like this is the feeling I've been looking for.
Yeah, it's interesting how much you emphasize the nurture side of it. It's like, you know, you hear about it from the nature side of like it's an addiction and a disease, and you know, I believe it is. But you know, you're using language like, you know, you learned how to, you experienced trauma or experienced something that taught you how to self-soothe. So I'm just kind of highlighting that. I think it's interesting.
I don't want this whole podcast to be about like this deep, like, I mean, I love that you're sharing this and I really appreciate it. You're being very vulnerable and I think it's able to help a lot of people. But dude, the thing I'm curious is like, how do you get started on like, what would you say to people on getting started on running? Like you said, a mile a day. Is that what you would suggest to somebody is doing a mile a day? Or
yeah, I get a lot of people that reach out that are in recovery, that are like, or like really early recovery, that are like, yo, how did you get to where you're at now? You know, like I would love to be able to just do half the things that you do. And like, that's the big thing that I try to share with them is like, take it extremely small at first. You know, like, if you can do 1 mile a day, or if you can't even run a mile right now, run for 1 minute, walk for 2 minutes, run for 1 minute, walk for 2 minutes. Like the first time, that first morning I went out in the driveway of this, you know, treatment facility, like I didn't run the whole mile. You know, I was cooked after the first 3 minutes of me running. I was like, man, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. So I think the biggest piece is just find something that you can do and just do it as often as possible, just to kind of create that new routine, new behavior. And that's going to like kind of replace some of those negative behaviors that, you know, potentially you have in your life.
Yeah, dude, how did you become the fit check guy? That's what I want to know, because that's how like I originally saw you. I think I saw you like 2 years ago or something on Instagram.
You know what? It's crazy because my wife was like, yo, you should start doing fit checks. And I was like, that's stupid. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. She was like, you should start, because she recognized that like I like to wear, you know, whatever I was putting on. Like it was important to me to wear something cool to go out running. She was like, yo, you should start sharing that. And I was like, I don't know. And then like the first time I did it, it didn't really do well. When I added the Strava stats, over the screen, that's when it just like boom, just absolutely exploded. And now like everybody wants to do the fit check. It's great. It's amazing.
Do you do a fit check for every single run? Now,
I was at one point. I was like towards the beginning, probably the last year, I would say. I haven't been doing it as much recently. I've been trying to just work in some different content, but for a while I was every single day.
Yeah. Dude, I can imagine that you had brands there for a while at the height. I bet you had brands sending you an insane amount of stuff.
Yeah, I have. So for a while I was coming to Recovery Run Club. I would take a big box of stuff and just like let people just, grab whatever. And just kind of, make sure everybody's eating a little bit.
Yes. That's sick. What's who spoiled you the most? You can shout them out.
Oh man, who spoiled me the most? That's a tough question. I've gotten a lot of cool stuff. I mean, Bombas is a good one. They send me a bunch of socks. They're a great company to get behind, quality products. They have a happiness guarantee. For every pair purchased or every item purchased is an item donated to a person experiencing houselessness, which is like, I mean, that spoke to me. But there's been a ton of good, a ton of brands. Who else has sent me stuff? Wallaco, the half tights, full tights. They're a great brand. Yeah. Who else has sent me stuff? Hoka. Yeah, there's been a ton of, like you said, I get a lot of like PR packages to the house. For a while, Cass was like, you got to shut it down for a little bit.
Chill. You're giving our address out to too many people.
Yeah, for real.
What's the race day fit?
So when I ran Philly, I kept it extremely simple. It was a cold morning. I think it was like 37 at the start. So I went with a t-shirt. I went with Nike arm sleeves, Bandit quarter tights, Bombas lightweight athletic socks, On Cloud Boom Strike, Coros Apex 2 Pro, and a Nike beanie with the Oakley Radar EVs.
Let's go, dude. I ran Philly 3 years ago, I think. Dude, that's a great race. I love that race.
That's when I ran my original PR. I ran 2:43 at Philly, and I'd been chasing a PR for the last 3 years. Have not been able to put a race together, and finally,
Dude, Philly, the race, like the hype around that race seems insane. I know Jess and Justin like posted a bunch about it, and we had some friends do it. It looked insane.
Yeah, this year was a great crowd, and it's an extremely like local crowd. It's not like obviously a world major or like New York, Chicago, where it like brings in people from all over the place. Like it's just like the Philly community just comes out in droves, and it's like,
for sure,
dude. When I run Philly, like the entire time, people are just, yo, Kellen runs Philly, Kellen runs Philly. It's like boost of energy the entire way. And then like once you get turned around, you start coming back towards, the rest of the the pack. It's even more people just like, let's go, Kellen runs Philly.
Back is it Manayunk out there? Where you
so once you come through Manayunk, and then like basically once I'm back on Kelly Drive headed towards the art museum, there's a good amount of traffic coming back or heading still towards Manayunk. So that's when I'm seeing a lot of people that recognize me, which is really cool.
You ran 2:36 on that course?
Yeah.
Bro.
I think it's like 700 feet of gain. Yeah. So
yes, every bit of that.
That's like Pittsburgh, bro. Is Philly hilly like Pittsburgh?
So I think Pittsburgh is another 200 feet. So it's like 900 feet of gain. I'm actually signed up for Pittsburgh in the spring.
Nice. I might. It won't be this year, but my wife is born and raised in Pittsburgh. We go there. We were just there 2 weeks ago, so I'm there all the time. I've never been to Philly, but my wife like Philly and Pittsburgh are like mortal enemies for some reason. I mean, football, but like I'm like, come on, guys, like we can hang out, right?
It's still like the East and West Pennsylvania thing. It's pretty serious.
I know it is pretty serious. The Pittsburgh Marathon though is not super competitive because it is like it just doesn't seem as hype as the Philly Marathon, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah. So my race goals for 26 are, as far as marathons go, I'm running Pittsburgh in May, and then I'm into Chicago for October.
Nice.
So those two races being as close together as they are, like May and October, my coach was like, listen, maybe we don't hit Pittsburgh, at 100%. Maybe we kind of treat that like a workout and use that towards the build. He's like, just because I don't want you to get burnt out. I don't know. I guess we'll see what kind of day that looks like. But my goal for Chicago is to break 230 to go inside that.
Do me a favor. This is a pro move. When you sign up for Chicago, also sign up for the Indy Marathon, because Chicago is notorious for being 65 freaking degrees. And everybody who has a bad day at Chicago turns around and has a good day at Indy, because Indy is always good weather and it's flat. It's just as flat as Chicago.
Okay.
That's a pro. That's a pro.
Into that. Pro tip.
They're like 5 weeks apart. So you got Indy like 5 weeks after. You can pretty much recover. Like, by mile 14 in Chicago if you're having a bad day. So you can pull up a little bit,
That's what I did. Well, I didn't do that. I could have done that. I wish I did that. I blew up at Chicago. But Chicago it continues to eat my lunch because it's always warm.
Kind of warm this year, right?
It's like not warm enough. It's funny. We talked to we had the first, second, and third female from Chicago on the podcast after Chicago. And I asked one of them, I was like, yeah, if it would have been a nicer weather day. And she like kind of stopped and she was like, it was fine. I was like, us average marathoners are complaining about it, but the pros are like, it's fine. It's like not a big deal.
Everyone has a little bit of a heat tolerance, or like different tolerance to heat. Also, like really depends on the person. I've been I was sauna in the backyard, so like immediately things that I've been implementing after every run: 15 minutes at 40% incline on the treadmill, and then 20 to 30 minutes in the sauna directly after the run. So like I'm trying to acclimate to obviously vert, because I'm going to be running Pittsburgh, and then also it's beginning of May. So like you never know. But that's going to be like, so also implementing just like some heat training early on too. That's kind of some sneaky pieces I'm trying to.
Dude, I'd have to listen back to this podcast because my internet connection literally cut out right as you said. After every run, you just froze. Something about 15 minutes of 40%, and then it froze.
Yeah. No, I've been doing 15% at there are 15 minutes at 40% incline on the treadmill. I have the Nordic Track X24, so I just crank it up to full incline, and I'll do 15 minutes at like 2 miles an hour, and then also I'll hit the sauna for like 20-30 minutes. Just straight through directly after my run.
What sauna do you have?
It is the Duo sauna by Redwood Outdoors.
Cool. Yeah, I have a Redwood sauna.
Okay. Yeah, they're great. It's like it gets up to like 200 degrees.
Yeah, mine gets up to 200. I have a barrel sauna outdoor.
Nice.
A 6-person one. I wanted it to be big, but I kind of wish it was indoor a bit sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes like it feels like some of the airs. I wish there was a better way to insulate it. I feel like,
dude, the bottom, the like drain hole, when it's like 15 degrees out, I actually put the thermometer I have at the feet, and it was like 80 degrees, but the top is like 295 degrees. It's like,
I have like the water pail, and I just put that over the top of the hole. That way, it kind of stops some of the air from coming through.
I need to do that. I was thinking about just plugging it, like plugging all the air holes.
Just duct tape it.
Yeah, because it definitely feels like you're cheating. But, dude, if you do that in the summer, like with like sunlight coming in the window, dude, you're cooking. Yep. Absolutely cooking. Dan, you've done it, right?
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm not
love the sun,
dude. Yeah, I bet
I love it.
I'm happy for you guys that you all love it, but in the summertime, when it's 200% humidity, that's not for me. What do you got the treadmill at 40%? Are you walking? Are you running? Like
2%, or 2 miles an hour, So it's just like a walk, but it's just like to, start to introduce that just like climbing, strengthen the legs a little bit there. It's just like some added climbing. I also like will play around with the incline on most of my runs. Like every quarter mile, I'll crank it up to I do most of my runs at 2% incline. Like that's pretty much baseline. And then as the run goes, I'll like crank it up 2.5, 3, 3.5, and just kind of bounce around there just to, keep it mixed up a little bit.
Dude, I like the treadmill incline post run. Strides are so out. Treadmill incline's so in.
Yo, I do strides too. So I'll be at my strides and then just jump right into some incline walk. Yeah.
Dude, he's doing double. He's just outdoing us.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, that's just walking. So I figured like see what happens.
Dude, you got the word you have this big old poster in your gym. It says grit, noun, and the definition of grit. Why do you have that in your gym? For other than obvious reasons.
I mean, so the word grit, I feel like it just spoke to me. There wasn't really like, I wish there was like a cool, like deep meaning behind me getting the poster, but yeah, I just like the idea of like being gritty. I feel like Philly is a gritty city, as we have like the gritty mascot. So
yeah,
it just spoke to me. I feel like, I've always been a hard worker, even through my addiction. So I feel like overcoming things, facing adversity, and kind of just like indulging in doing hard things is like a gritty thing to do. So I feel like it spoke to me. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's a great answer. For real, I have a giant poster of a tiger in my gym. I mean, when I say giant, it's like 6 feet tall by 4 feet wide. Like it's really big. And my builder, who is just so happened to be Danny's dad, it was like a long story, but it ended up in my house. It wasn't supposed to be in my house, but it ended up in my house as kind of a gag gift. And I was like, my wife was like, that's not going on the first floor. And I was like, I'm putting it in my freaking gym.
Yeah.
I built a big old gym in my new house that I rarely use. I think you use your gym a lot more than me, but I have the giant tiger and it has absolutely no meaning. At least grit has some meaning to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Yeah. I use my gym a lot. So I used to be like going to the gym quite a bit. And sometimes I think like, man, I could probably use some more human interaction, but at the same time, like I'm really blessed to be able to spend as much time with my daughter at home with my wife as I am. Work from home is prior to starting content creation, I was working 70 hours a week as a construction worker, And then on top of that 70 hours, like I was going to bed early so that I could wake up at 3:45 so I could be at the gym by 4:30 so I could work out for an hour and a half, before going to work. It was just like a lot of time spent on the house. So I have no idea how I would have continued that lifestyle with, a child. Didn't really seem sustainable at the time. I know there's people that do it, obviously, and more power to you. But yeah, I'm definitely blessed to be able to be home a lot, and that's why I'm able to use the gym a lot. It's just like accessible.
Yeah, dude. Before we wrap here, I wanna you can honestly defer this question, but there was something I wanted to ask a while ago. Honestly, I lost my train of thought like twice during this podcast. It's been a really long day, and it's late, but we're here. So. I'm curious, are you religious at all? Or not? Do you not consider yourself to be religious? You don't have to answer it. Like
I would say I'm more of like a spiritual person. I grew up Catholic in the Catholic Church. Kind of.
I'll tell you the reason why I asked that. But so it struck me the conversation we had when you were in the motel. Cass is your wife's name?
Yeah.
And your girlfriend at the time, right? She found you in the motel in Baltimore, I think, and then you said you got in a big fight, and then you left, and then your plan was to end it, right? And she called you and then called you again, and I don't know. That's just like it just to me like I'm a believer. And, it just seems like God's purpose for Kellen's life. It's just, it had so much more than that bridge that you had planned, right? Like Kellen's plan was that. And I just think it's really cool that, you can take it however you want, but I think God used Cass in your life to, show his plan for you. I mean, now, dude, you're on a billboard in Philly. Like, that's crazy. Like you were trying to jump off a bridge, and that is like, that's, I mean, we don't want that for anybody, but like you said, like your mind was telling you that was the answer, right? You had nowhere to go. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool to see like Cass in your life, and now you have a daughter. I love hearing stories like this, like you and Caleb, and we've had others, that like you can turn it around, right? I'd be curious of what you'd have to say to people that are listening to this and they just feel like they just don't have anything going for them and they're done, because I just see stories, like I see success stories like you, and I want everybody who's at rock bottom to be Kellen. I'm curious what you would say about that.
Yeah, I would say that as long as you're still breathing, there's always a chance. Like as long as you can, your heart is still beating and you're able to move forward and make decisions and speak and ask for help. Like you have the ability to change your life around. There's tons of resources that are out there. Obviously here in Pennsylvania, it's the Get Help Now line. Like the main thing, like with mental health in general, mental health is tricky. There's such a wide spectrum of, things you could be affected by. Right. Most of my experience comes in substance use, and for substance use specifically, like it does such a good job, like I said before, of tricking you into thinking that, your world is closing in on you and you have no options, and you believe that. And like the best thing you can do in that situation is to ask for help. There's so many people in the United States right now, in the world, that have gone through what you're going through, and like who have made it out on the other side. And it's not always running. Sometimes it's self-help groups. Sometimes it's, getting into therapy. Sometimes there's a ton of different options that you can use to, push your life forward and to overcome the obstacles that you're faced with. And a lot of times it's just like a healing journey. It's not always going to be perfect. Recovery specifically, mental health specifically, isn't like this linear line. It's like training. It's like some days are good days, some days are bad days. But at the end of the day, for me anyway, it's like any day that I'm not using and like that I'm not out on the streets chasing the dragon is like, I always say like my best day of using is a lot worse than my worst day of being sober, right? Like I would much rather have a bad day here, than a good day there, if that makes sense. I know that was kind of like a word circus.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. You just have perspective in your life.
Yeah.
Your perspective has completely switched. Like
Exactly.
what used to be, what's hard now, well, never mind. Now I'm not making sense either. We know what we're saying. I wanted to say something as well, but it's not making sense. Honestly, I think I need to go to bed, Kellen. But yeah, I mean, dude, I love your message that you have for people. Truly, like any day that you're still here is a day that is worth living, right? And ask for help. I had a buddy of mine who I've mentioned a couple times. He actually listens to every episode of this podcast, and he doesn't run, but he struggled with addiction significantly, and he's been sober for over a year now. And he asked me for help a while ago, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't struggle with it. But it's really cool I talked to him the other day about this. Now that he's like a year out, he's had people reach out to him, and I've even had people reach out to me, and I have given them his number, because I'm like, I'm not equipped I can give you a hug and I can be like, I'm here for you. Like, I won't leave you alone. But like you and my buddy Austin, like, you know what to say and you know what to do. And, you know, ask for help for people who are equipped to help. Right.
Absolutely.
I think, like, you know, I'm no doctor or therapist by any means, not even close, but that's what I had to say on the matter, you know.
It's completely true. I completely agree. We definitely carry the tools, the emotional tools, and like the experience to be able to at least, you know, help guide someone in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%.
Kellen, you're freaking awesome, man. So
Yeah.
appreciate your time and
Thanks,
you
man.
sharing your
Appreciate
story.
it.
So awesome.
For sure. I
Danny,
appreciate you guys.
I had rapids prepared for this guy, but honestly, we jumped right into the deep end. I think we might just end it here.
We'll do it next time.
Yeah,
Right on.
Kellen, we normally do this segment called Rapid Fires, which is just like a silly, like, get to know you section. But honestly, this has been great. We got to know you plenty.
Amazing. Right
Yeah,
on.
man.
Awesome.
Well,
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, this is episode 223 of the Life in Stride podcast. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, send with a friend, share with a friend, give us a review, follow us on, you know, all the things, and see you on 224.
Let's go.
Peace.
Peace.